Oh, nice mug as well.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
I'm not holding it properly, but...
Okay.
Yes.
KOKO PODS number 2.
Number 2.
Number 2. I done Ella yesterday.
Okay.
I didn't do her. We just done the podcast.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Figured.
It's a nice one. Okay. A little introduction of my guest today. He's a good friend, Alex Massek. He's of German origin. Grew up in the US of A, Connecticut. He went to St. Andrews. He's a very smart guy, business oriented, young entrepreneur, good mate, good photographer, young hustler, etc., etc. There's a lot more to him. First of all, you didn't even know we were doing this up until like...
I have no idea. You're always full of surprises.
Yeah, man. How's you done a shoot today?
I did.
Then you done some photo developing, etc., etc. Every day on the grind. And me and you've been working for how long now?
Probably like 4 years now, almost. No.
Yeah.
Something about
It must be about 4 years now, which is crazy because
time flies when you're having fun, eh?
time flies, and especially time flew by during this whole COVID thing. Like it's been crazy, you know.
Yeah.
Like how do you think overall COVID affected your like psyche?
Oh man. I mean, for me, I think.
Just bring the mic a bit closer, innit?
Breathes into microphone. Okay. For me, I think in general, it just really shifted my train of thought. I was dealing with a couple things at once, so I had some back issues, as you know, that kind of hit me at the same time as COVID. Luckily, the back issues have cleared up, but yeah, there was just a couple things that hit me. So it took me some time to adjust from the everyday life and just being really busy, constantly working, and then just having nothing. And at the beginning, you couldn't even do creative projects. And for me, I was always doing projects. I was always doing the next thing. Just, I think that was just my train of thought. I was like, I'm always going to keep doing it. So, I mean, that slowed me down. And at first, it was really daunting. I was trying to think of new ways to be creative. So I kept my creativity going, but it definitely forced me to slow down a bit and think about what I was doing, how I'm approaching it, and what I'm actually doing to, get the most out of my creativity and to actually enjoy the process. Because what I saw was I was a lot of times also just pushing myself because of the environment that we creatives find ourselves in. Social media really pushes us to constantly be doing things. You're always looking at that other person or, this brand doing this, or, there's just an always like looking through the glass kind of environment. So for me, it really first slowed down, and then I really started getting into my painting more and just thinking inwardly, coming up with new ideas, but not actually executing on them, just more just brainstorming. So I took some time to do those things and just, think about what I was doing and how I wanted to approach it moving forward. So I think I'm really happy that it worked out the way it did, because I feel like coming out of this, I'm much more mentally balanced, especially dealing with like social media, how I approach my creativity, and just in general, my mental and physical health. So yeah, that's, I guess, how I would have seen it,
How healthy do you think it is? You're talking about like social media.
Yeah.
I like how you always seeing other people do stuff, so then that pushes you to do things.
For sure.
How healthy do you think that like that connection is, in terms of like, you see something and you're like, oh shit, I should be doing something?
It's natural. I mean, everyone's gonna have some innate competitiveness in them. Like if you're motivated to do something, you will look at other people and see that as either, I think it's the way you approach it, right? If you look at it with this kind of like a jealousy or resentment, then it's going to be really unhealthy for you. If you look at it like from a positive way, being like, that person's doing really cool things, that's inspiring me to push harder, that will be more of a healthy way to look at it. I think it really depends on how you frame your state of mind when you're looking at other people doing projects. I don't know if it's maybe I'm getting a bit older in terms of like my mental kind of approach to it has gelled out more, but I think, more in my early 20s, I was definitely more competitive in a negative way, if that makes sense. So I definitely I had the wrong frame of mind. So
how in negative in what way?
I was just pushing myself, but also using the wrong kind of motivations. As opposed to looking at something and being like, that's really cool, I want to do that, I would look at it and be like, there would be some resentment or some jealousy sometimes looking at other people succeeding when I wasn't doing the things I wanted to do. I think this is something that probably everyone goes through in waves, and like it's a natural thing. But I think for me, I try to much more frame it as like, if I see someone doing something, I think, it's really cool and I applaud them for doing that. And then I think about like, what can I do to achieve those things, or like what steps can I take to get to that level, as opposed to looking and getting frustrated and being like, I'm not doing that, and then looking inwardly and getting down on myself.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's a train of thought, really. But yeah, that's kind of how I'm trying to actively shift. I mean, I've done a lot of self-reflection over these past couple 2-3 years, as I'm sure everyone has.
Yeah.
And you've been there for a lot of it. So I'm saying this as a formality because obviously that's the question, but yeah, it's definitely caused me to reevaluate my way of thinking, my approach to it. And that then in turn reflects outwardly of you as a person. I think like the energy you put within yourself and the kind of stuff that you're carrying will reflect outwardly onto people, because it's just your emotions. If you're constantly resentful, that's going to reflect.
Yeah, it's hard 100%, because like in the creative industry in particular, well, I don't know about in particular, but that's just what me and you are familiar with.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do, and that's what everyone else around us does, basically.
Sure.
But we focus on, like we share our achievements between each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like in this house, like all of us does all types of shit, like within the film industry, and 100%. Like I struggle with it sometimes, but I think it's you have to like, when someone, you have to question yourself whenever someone tells you like an achievement, and that achievement irks you. Like it's almost like you feel like a type of like, oh damn, like they're doing better than I am, type of thing. There's many things you can do with that sort of like energy, in terms of like, you can be resentful, like you said. You can be like, oh man, like fuck that, they don't deserve it, like I deserve it more.
Exactly.
Or you can be or maybe it's like, damn, like, or you can go the opposite way, where it's like, damn, like they deserve it and I don't, like, because I haven't been putting in the work.
Yeah.
But then there's also the other way, which is, oh shit, like they're doing really well.
Yeah.
Like amazing, like good for them. And then that can sort of boost you. But I think there's another way to look at it, in terms of, you can see someone, and you can be resentful, yeah, because there's a part of the human psyche, and like the way we proceed, like the way we process information, where it can always be a bit like, it can be so there's always a bit of negativity in everyone, but you need to learn how to deal with that negativity, so it doesn't completely like shadow all the other things.
Exactly.
So whenever like like someone tells you an achievement and you do feel a bit resentful for it, there's definitely a learning process there, where you're like, okay, I do feel a bit resentful, but at the same time, you need to evaluate your thoughts and be like, okay, I am resentful, but really good for them. And why am I feeling resentful? I'm probably feeling resentful because I haven't been doing the right things. and or maybe I just haven't been achieving what I thought I'd be achieving at this point. And I'm just speaking through personal experience, and that's
cognitive awareness.
yeah. You have to constantly self-reflect and evaluate your thought process, innit? It's mad though. Like, this whole COVID thing, it's made it definitely gave everyone a bit of time to self-reflect.
Most definitely.
I don't know how much of a I honestly thought at the beginning of COVID I thought there's going to be like a silver lining to it, a bit like a good outcome of it all. But unfortunately I'm struggling to see that right now. Within humanity there's a lot of weirdness going on in the world,
definitely,
and I don't know how to handle all of it, all this.
I don't think. There's no one to really look at. I mean, the only thing we could look at would be maybe the Spanish flu.
Bring the mic closer in it. You can just bring it to you.
Yeah. The only thing we could really look at is maybe like the Spanish flu, or like, but obviously those people are all dead, so you can't really just hit them up and be like, hey, how did you deal with this?
Like, how did you manage this one?
This is a very unique scenario, and I think you just have to remember not to be too hard on yourself and that it's shit. But I think acknowledging it that it's not great, and then you know, if you deny it, if you deny feeling like crap, then it's just gonna kind of
it's not good.
Build into resentment.
And us men, we do that a lot.
All the time.
All the time, where we're like, I don't know, I don't feel that bad about it, but in reality, inside you're feeling shit. It's just we find it hard to express it. I mean, I know it's super generic, but it's hard to express your feelings as a man. You know what I mean?
Definitely. It's just a conditioning kind of thing. I think it's changing a bit over generations, but
it's still within us, within the DNA.
It's still a thing.
It's deep in there.
Still a thing.
I mean, like, I don't know about your like dad, but like, did he ever like show emotion and feelings and?
He did, but I think he's a very reserved man. I mean, he grew up in a completely different generation because he's a bit older as well. So,
he is.
From his kind of roots, he comes from, if you look at his father was, ages like growing up post World War II.
It's
a whole different world, especially in Germany because the country just changed so much. And I think, he has moments where he expresses it, but I feel like there is definitely that difficulty, and there's probably many factors to it. So I think I see that within myself, like that carries over. So sometimes for me it's difficult to be fully open to people, just because, like you said, it's the masculine urge to never show emotions.
Never show like weakness, really.
You
know what I mean? Weakness is hard to show.
Pretty much, you carry this the suit of armor, but I think the one thing that's really helped me is to actually just take the time to reflect, even if I'm not speaking as much to other people, and if I'm still working on that, taking the time to process the emotions and to do like that self-work, like you talked about, meditation, journaling, whatever it is, just to be like, okay, I don't feel great today. Why is that? What's causing that? And then, let those feelings kind of move on. That's kind of, that's where it is. And sometimes, having conversations with people, you obviously can't go to everyone and just like scream around, but but you have, you should have those people that you can be honest with about how you're feeling. It's important.
It is. Bit of a personal question.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think your lowest moment the last 2 years was?
We're getting to the meaty bits.
Yeah, man.
I think I can't remember the exact moment, but somewhere around the time I painted a particular piece. I can, we can show a picture of that or something.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, send me a link.
I basically, because I talked about those back problems that happened around the same time, and the whole story, but I'll say it again once, just to kind of get everyone up to
some
speed.
Context. Yeah.
Context, that's what I'm talking about. During the beginnings of the pandemic, I managed to have a injury due to an osteopath not treating me correctly, which led to 3 bulging discs in my back and all sorts of muscle spasms and all of the good stuff.
Yeah.
So for like the past 2 years, I've been really trying to figure out how to deal with that, make sure the back heals properly, because backs heal very slowly, as I've learned. It takes about 2 years for a back injury to actually heal, and I'm hitting that 2-year mark. And I think now it's, I'm taking those active steps, but I think one of the low points was when at the peak of that, I couldn't really sit upright for more than 10 minutes in a chair, as well as I had developed a nasty case of tinnitus, and we were in the peak of lockdown. So, locked in a room, couldn't sit, tinnitus. Those 3 make for a very bad combo for your mental health.
Yeah.
So there was just times where I was just like at a rock bottom. And so I painted that piece as well to just kind of like release some of those emotions. For me, art is a very therapeutic thing. And yeah, I mean, I keep that painting around to remember the lowest points, because, when you realize those moments, then things get better, and you have to have those lows to have the highs. But yeah, man, it was a very shitty time. I was very frustrated, wasn't getting work. We were in lockdown. I wasn't be able to be really creative, and it just hit me all at once. And then you just kind of like sit there and you think like, how can it get any worse?
Yeah.
It didn't really get any worse from there, to be fair.
It didn't, yeah. Actually,
that was
didn't.
the rock bottom.
Yeah. I mean, I did ask you the lowest, so
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
That's bad. That was a bad time. I mean, it was, yeah.
You remember as well, like.
Yeah, I remember, but also at the same time, like, I know, I only know the surface level of it, even me.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I don't talk to people that much about it.
Because, like, it's one of those things where, I mean, even in lockdown we did see each other, but it's not easy to like we were saying, not easy to express these things.
No, it's not, and you can't really, because people don't, unless they've had chronic back pain or chronic pain in general. It's really hard to explain, because you look normal on the surface, but then, the best way I can explain is like I felt like fire ants were just like raging up and down my back, as well as all my muscles in my back had like locked up. So not a fun feeling.
No.
As well as, like it said, it caused all the nerves to freak out, and then that going into my ear causing the tinnitus. I mean, I look back on my photos as well. You can see that I went through like a really like dark things.
Yeah.
So, as someone who's usually pretty positive and optimistic, that really humbled me.
Yeah.
But the positive out of it is like, moving forward, everything has been a lot better since then. So, it really taught me a lot. It humbled me. It taught me a lot. It was a difficult time. So, yeah, like I said, I don't speak about it too much, because I don't like to go on and on, as we said, the masculine urge to never talk about anything.
Yeah.
But I think I dealt with it pretty well, and like I'm happy that I managed to get through that, and I've learned a lot of valuable things, and just grateful that I can have a healthy back again. It's healed up nicely, and I don't have that pain. Some people, unfortunately. And this was something as well that I was contemplating when I went to go see a doctor. There was some conditions they were testing for, because, there are conditions that will never go away. And I really feel for those people. I really do. That is tough.
Yeah, that is tough. And on the other side, what do you reckon your happiest
Happiest.
was in the last couple of years?
Let me think about that one. I think there's a couple. I mean, like, it's hard to say there's a specific moment, but I think just once coming out of lockdown and things starting to get back to some sort of normalcy, seeing friends and like being able to travel. I managed to go to Berlin.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like when that plane took off, and I just felt like, I'm about to see a change of scenery. I'm about to see my family again. It was just so good for me in terms of my mental space. And yeah, I think like literally anything that had been taken away from me and then given back to me would have been a really exciting thing. you know, to be able to live through all of that and then be able to go to parties, to see friends, to travel to work again, you know, getting jobs, managed to shoot some fashion editorials. I mean, we did the one on that beach in Eastbourne. That was fun.
That was fun. Yeah,
That was a good one.
Yeah. That turned out really good.
Yeah, I mean, like getting all those things to actually function and work. I think anytime you take on a bigger project and it's like a challenge, but then especially during COVID, to be able to actually get some sort of like progress through something and to get through those difficult moments. Yeah, that those were those highlights, I would say.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying. Man, yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster of emotions. It's been, I mean, for me as well, I'm not gonna lie, yeah, it's been all over the place. Like,
I'm sure. I mean, I've seen it as well.
Yeah. Ups and downs. Like, it's no, you can only hide it up until a point. You know what I mean?
100.
And then it's just like,
yeah.
But at the same time, you know, with you in specifically, it's really good to see like when when you had your back problems and whatever, like you didn't just expect them to go away.
Yeah.
Like you really.
I accepted them. I thought they weren't going to go away for a while.
But like at the same time, you know, you put in the work to really fix it. You know,
definitely.
And not just physical but mental. With like a lot of meditation.
Yeah.
A lot of, you know, strength and conditioning. And
I did all sorts of. I went to therapy, all sorts of mental therapy as well, like hypnotherapy was the proper word, you know.
That was mad. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting experience. I don't know if like it's something I would do regularly, but it's definitely something I would recommend people do every once.
No, just sit back. How
yeah.
Sit. There you go.
Okay, it's something I would recommend every once in a while.
Yeah.
Because as I found, and as we said, you build up a lot of like little mental things and then they just kind of snowball and you just ignore them or you bury them in the back of your mind. The mind just like compartmentalizes them. It's really bizarre, but I did this hypnotherapy and all these emotions were released and I really did feel them release. Like I cried a ton when I was in that state. I was in a meditative state. I wasn't like fully awake, but there was a lot of tears that came out. And as I later found, those were a lot of emotions that had been buried from years back that were never properly processed. These couldn't stem from childhood things. And the reason I went to this therapy was simply because I was having a really tough time dealing with the back issues. I wasn't accepting them and I was actually fighting them. So one of the things that helped me heal was to go there and to just accept that it was there and it might not go away. And that allowed my brain to stop fighting all of the, you know, the issues and to stop spasming my muscles and all those little things. The body's a very fine machine, but I did those things. And then after 2 sessions, I think it was, I did 2 sessions. I was fully accepting of the issues.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't feel like I was fighting it anymore. And slowly but surely the spasms went away. And that was like one of the first steps to healing it was to be able to get those spasms to go away. And then obviously tons of physical therapy, working out, you know, treatments of all sorts, acupuncture, osteopathy, going to the right doctors this time, not the wrong ones. And getting, evaluations to make sure it was all good. So that hypnotherapy really gave me a lot of peace of mind in a very difficult time. And so for that reason, I think like whether it's hypno or just regular therapy, especially guys who are very afraid to go to therapy, you know, that's like we said.
Yeah, big time. Yeah.
I would recommend everyone does a session to see what the results are. Be able to accept those things and then see how it brings you, what it brings you. And you'll probably find really good things because it's better to release all those things instead of carrying them around and burying them in the subconscious.
Yeah.
In the subconscious.
Yes. Man, yeah. Is that the first time you've done therapy?
I think so. You know what? No, I did 1 session of therapy when I was younger, and I didn't really get a good result out of it. I don't think I was in the right frame of mind.
Okay, yeah. You have to.
I think I got a bit older, and I was like, you know what, this is, everyone's got those mental things. Like, no matter who you are, you're going to have trauma in your life. Therapy is a way of dealing with trauma. Trauma is constant. It will happen. And if you don't deal with it, then it's just going to bury itself. And when you go into this like hypnotic state, you'll see all sorts of things. I visually saw myself as a 4-year-old, and there were little things that I hadn't dealt with from way back when that were still on my mind. And it was just really crazy to me that those things just carry on throughout your whole life. I was 26, 27 now, and the fact that a 4-year-old me was still hurting from something, that says something. We don't forget until we deal with it. So I think that's where I came to some conclusions, also because I do a lot of meditation, and the meditation was like a first step for me to start realizing there was a couple other things that I hadn't dealt with. And I was like, you know what? I saw actually my sister went and she did a hypno session, and it really helped her. And I was really impressed with her bravery to go do that, because it takes a lot of bravery to go deal with your subconscious. It's not an easy thing to do. And, I wasn't afraid of it, but I was just a bit skeptical. Because I was like, well, hypnosis, like, what is that, But yeah, after doing it, I realized there's a lot of benefits to it, for sure. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
We're getting into it now.
Yeah, 100%. I would like to, who was I speaking to? Hello, Katie, about therapy. Would definitely like to try it. Would definitely just go and have a sesh with someone.
I can give you a number.
Yeah, give me a number. Was that the Kate Moss one?
No. That wasn't therapy. That was just like what was that called? I don't even know what the word is. It's not a therapy. It was like a spiritual guide.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But that's another story.
That's a whole other story. Oh, man. We can get into that later on if you want.
Yeah, sure.
It's still fresh, a bit fresh, isn't it?
I'm okay with it, man.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. We can talk about it.
Do you want to talk about it? It's well entertaining. Oh my days. Hey, she'll probably never see this.
Yeah, if she does, it is what it is.
She's a good person.
I have no bad feelings. Like, it's it is what it is. Everyone has their belief system. So
yeah. Damn. All right. I'm just gonna get into it, because stop me if you want, innit? Stop me.
It's fine. I mean, we can always revisit this.
Yeah, we can always get rid of it. Yeah, we can always get rid of this part. So Alex got into a entanglement with a certain lady, and it got real interesting real quick.
It did.
Without obviously giving out any personal information, give me the.
She shall not be named.
She shall not be named.
Is it needs a
just
holding it there? Yeah.
Do you know what? Yeah. Wait, let me just do it. There
Okay.
you go.
Okay.
You're perfect. You don't need to do it.
Perfect. So, I mean, basically, I was in a relationship for a couple months with a very awesome individual.
Yeah.
She's great. Like,
there was a lot going for her.
There's a lot going for her. There still is a lot going for her.
Yeah.
She's fantastic. But we had some issues with our belief system. I've learned very quickly that belief system and, not priorities, but actually, let's just say belief system. You really have to make sure who you're dating that, first of all, you're in some semi-alignment in how you see the world, and also that there is the ability to come to some sort of an agreement mutually. And so basically we were dating for a while, and unfortunately COVID has caused a lot of issues in a lot of relationships, it's not uncommon. When we started dating, I had the first vaccine already. So, she is very spiritual, and she didn't really agree with vaccines.
Well, just that vaccine in particular. She was
just
fine
that
with,
vaccine.
She was fine with the other ones.
You're correct. Yes. Yeah. It's just that vaccine in particular. I mean, I had a little bit of skepticism on the vaccine. Like, I'm not huge. Like, I'm not a pro-vaxxer, but I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I think everyone should just live their life. So I accepted her beliefs for what they were. That's fine. She can do whatever she wants. She doesn't need to get vaccinated. That's cool. And she kind of accepted my situation. So I was like, cool. All right, we've kind of made it work.
For a bit.
Little carrots there, little asterisks. Anyways, like I said, I went to Berlin. So, I told her, I was like, hey, I'm going to Berlin. Really excited. I haven't seen my family in a while, especially my dad. Had been almost 2 years, year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah, I hadn't seen him. Yeah.
And he's also at high risk. That's very important in this context here. So, in order for me to travel properly, not be in quarantine for like 10 days, and to see my dad with peace of mind, I need to get my second jab.
Yeah.
I told her, I was like, hey, I'm going to get that second jab. That's where things got a little sticky. We had a lot of conversations, and then before I knew it, I was speaking to her spirit guide, who is also Kate Moss's spirit guide.
Yeah.
Interesting person. Honestly, super interesting. The experience was very interesting. And here's the funny thing. After the whole thing, speaking to the spirit guide, getting the body readings done, the spirit guide was like, yeah, you should get the vaccine.
I bet she was pissed.
I came back to her. I was like, yeah, spirit guide said.
I mean, obviously, just to give a bit more context in it. So, like, when obviously you had your first jab and, after the first jab, you'd done things with her, whatever,
Yeah.
You'd done the dirty probably a couple times. And then...
It's fair to say.
And then when it came to the second jab, I just remember she got really funny she was talking about spike proteins and
Yeah.
God knows what else. That. And I mean, you're definitely a product of your surroundings, and her surroundings were questionable. Per se.
That's your thoughts. I'm gonna try and stay as neutral as I can.
Yeah.
In case she does see this, it doesn't come after me.
I mean, I don't know enough in it, but I mean, there was a lot going on there.
I mean, for sure, it's a difficult. Yeah, there's external factors. Let's put it that way.
Big time, yeah. But you're getting your second jab, and as soon as that conversation started, things started to go south.
Yeah, it went real south. So, yeah, I told her I was getting the second jab. Mind you, I've had both jabs. I'm fine. No issues.
I mean, like most
and like I said, everyone do their thing. I did it because I wanted to travel. I wanted to see my parents. All that. Yeah, so I got the second jab, and then, she kind of sat back, for lack of a better word. And then we agreed. I was like, cool, I'm going to go to Berlin. You don't have to be around me for a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Because she said after the
I
second
needed to process the jab.
So your body needs to process the jab so you don't give her the spike proteins.
Yes, correct. Yeah, and then I accepted that. I was like, cool. I'll go do my thing.
Yeah.
We spoke a lot. I mean, she was a bit standoffish. And then we stopped speaking for a while because I was like, this isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
So I figured, okay. And then we started speaking again. And then the breakup happened.
Yeah.
Just really, I mean, there's a lot of little things, but the main thing was that jab.
It was the vaccine, innit?
I never thought I would see the day that a vaccine would be the end of a relationship. I've had some weird breakups in my life, all had.
Yeah, in particular.
Yep.
Oh my days.
But yeah, that was the end of my relationship, and I hope she doesn't come after me.
Yeah. No, we haven't said anything bad about her.
Nah, it's that one thing, and like I said, she's great. I wish her all the best.
Yeah.
And I'd plug her company, but let's not do that.
No, there's no need to do anything. There's about 7 people who see this podcast anyway, so it's. But hey, man, it's.
Could be 8 though.
Could be 8.
Could be a bit.
But, I mean, we live in a strange world. Who would have thought that you'd be breaking up over vaccines?
Yeah, I mean, it's a wild one, and it's really tough when it's someone that you really enjoy the company of, and you're like, oh yeah, man, this is a great relationship, and then bam, it's gone.
Bam.
You got a jab. Next thing you know, you're carrying spike proteins, and the lizard people are coming.
Yep. Yeah. You got Bill Gates in your blood, and
He's already about. He's been about. So.
He is in our blood already.
Yeah, man.
He's living out.
So that was a fun one.
It was, but you've had some bad breakups though. Like, what was the one where? What was it? Someone pretended to like have cancer or have a baby or something. What?
It was cancer.
It was cancer.
It was cancer.
Damn.
Yeah.
What?
So that was pre-uni. Actually.
That is dark, man.
Yeah. Oh man, we're really gossiping now. So pre-uni, I had a relationship that wasn't. It was a fling. It wasn't anything super serious, but we got along really well.
Yeah,
Anyways,
yeah.
I was going to university in Scotland. Like I wasn't gonna be in the US a lot, and I just told her, I was like, look, I don't think I can have a relationship with you because we'll never see each other, and you know, it's my first year in uni. You want to live your life.
Yeah. First year of uni, it's people just
want to live their life.
Live their lives,
free.
not
Like that's pretty universal. If anyone managed to have a sturdy relationship through that first year of uni with someone from high school, I applaud them.
Yeah.
But I just knew it wasn't going to be a good time for me to be in a serious relationship.
Yeah.
So I told her that, and we stopped speaking for a while, and then before I know, I was getting text messages being like, went to the doctor, they checked me out, I've got this form of cancer. I can't remember what cancer it was, but I was just shook.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, like, anyone would tell you that.
Holy
Like,
shit.
Yeah, that's terrible.
So I was trying to talk to her, and then I felt like the conversation was like shifting back into like relationship. It was like going from cancer to back to relationship.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's going on? And then I spoke to a couple of her friends, and they're like, no, she doesn't. She went to a doctor to get checked out, but like they were saying, got a little spot that we need to remove. Basically.
Right. Yeah.
So then I was like, holy fuck.
Okay, so she was like, what? She was just trying to guilt trip you into like
Staying in a relationship.
That is mad.
Yeah.
Girls be crazy.
Yep.
Girls be crazy out here.
Yep.
We love girls, but
we do.
But
there's great girls out there.
There's some great girls. 100%.
Very, very great girls. Shout out all the great girls.
You know who you are, or maybe you don't actually, but
you might not, but one day you will know you're a great girl.
Hopefully someone will be there to tell you. Mr. Alexander Massek, have you seen Aliens?
Aliens, the movie?
No. Have you had any paranormal interactions in your life or anything of the sort? Something a bit more lighthearted.
As opposed to all of my relationship gossip.
Yeah.
I don't think I've actually seen aliens in the flesh.
No? Damn. What about like anything can be paranormal, obviously, like ghosts and etc. Yeah.
Pokemon?
Yeah, that works.
I wish I'd seen Pokemon earlier.
Yeah, you love Pokemon.
I fucking love Pokemon, man. I think the older I get, the more I revert back to the early days of me loving Pokemon, because you're just like become at peace with yourself. You're like, yeah, fuck, Pokemon are great. But then in your like early like 20s, late teens, you're like, oh, that's not cool to like Pokemon. No, it's fucking sick to like Pokemon.
Yeah. There's a funny shift that happens there, actually. Because when you're young, obviously, you don't really give a shit.
No, you do whatever.
You do whatever, and then you become a teenager, and then it gets all a bit like, oh, who's cool and what's cool to do.
Exactly.
And then you turn an age, maybe like, I don't know when it is. Maybe it's just after like during uni, after uni, where people just stop giving a fuck, really.
Trust.
But it's funny because like you walk past them like, they're like shops where they sell all the, I don't even know what they are, but where all the people that really love shit like that go together and just play games, and they're all like 30, 40. Yep. There's no kids there. No, it's all the like real Donnies that are like 30, 40.
OGs
yeah, they're just like.
We all got that inner child, man.
Oh yeah, man.
So I think for me, I was like, especially I got to age, I was like, you know what, Pokemon's actually sick. Why not live life?
Do you remember? Did you play Pokemon Go?
Yeah, I played it for a while when the peak. I mean, now it's still going. I've like touched it every now and then, but I think I'm still more of like the classic game style. Like the Game Boy.
Yeah.
Obviously not on Game Boy anymore, but like we're talking like Nintendo DS and now Switch and that stuff. I need to get a Switch. I don't have a Switch actually, but been playing emulators and things like that,
Yeah.
or just even something I've really been into lately is like just Pokemon art on Twitter. There's a lot of artists that make really great renditions of Pokemon.
Is there must be like a Pokemon NFT thing.
Probably. I
It
haven't
must be.
really touched on that. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but
Because the Pokemon card thing was crazy. I mean, still is like
it will happen. And when it happens,
the Charizard thingy. How much is it? Do you know how much they cost? Like a Charizard Golden card, or whatever they are.
first edition. Lots. I don't know. I think there was one that I saw. This was his name, Logan Paul. I think he bought one for like $1 million. Or
Yeah,
something.
2 million. That is mad.
But I think he inflated it again. Like, I don't think it was at that level, but then because he spent that money.
It's like Neymar.
Exactly. You spend the money, people are like, oh, this is crazy. But yeah, I think in general, with the whole NFT thing, Pokemon, if they haven't done it yet, they're going to do it soon.
They will do it.
And it will be crazy.
Yeah, it'll be crazy.
It will be.
Can you imagine like a Pokemon avatar thingy where they do like one to
know
nine?
I'm about to cop that.
Oh my days, that shit will go for so much money.
Yeah.
You just copped your first 2 NFTs, no?
I did, yeah. I have 2 NFTs now. I've been looking at the market for a long time, and I was thinking about selling them as photos and stuff, and I'm still taking my time and making sure I'm doing the right things with that. But I have made the leap into collecting.
Nice.
So that's begun.
And for the people that don't know what NFTs are, can you give us a...
Yeah. NFTs are non-fungible tokens. Fun guys. Basically, they are a digital asset that can be bought on the blockchain through use of cryptocurrency, and through that it validates the singular ownership of it. So it's essentially... An easier way to explain is like it's a digital stock of some sort of a creative asset or JPEG file or a video file or whatever. And there's been a huge wave of people, especially on Twitter, going in, creating these NFTs, and collectors coming and buying them as opposed to physical pieces or in addition to physical pieces.
Or in addition to physical... There's some really cool ones. Did you see the Beeple Human one, whatever, the box thing?
Oh, there's tons. I mean, he's made like crazy moves.
Crazy money.
Crazy moves. And he's beyond rich.
Yeah.
A lot of these people have made so much money.
So, okay, let's get down to the... Because
Yes.
I'm going to pretend like I don't know anything about NFTs. And I know very little, to be fair.
Okay.
So, say, I buy an NFT, just like, I don't know, like a piece of artwork.
Yeah.
Just like a landscape.
Yeah,
Whatever.
landscape photo.
Landscape photo, yeah. And I own it. Yeah, I own it.
Sure.
And obviously there's I guess there's like that running joke from
Right-click save.
Right-click save. Obviously, like someone else can just go and save that picture, and then they can have it as well. Which, me as an owner, like shit, like I should be the only one that has this.
Yeah.
But that's not exactly how it works, is it?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, look, first, I guess like the best way to explain it is like, you can take a photo of the Mona Lisa, you can buy a print of the Mona Lisa, but it's not the Mona Lisa.
Yeah, it's not the Mona Lisa.
The real Mona Lisa is hanging in the Louvre securely and behind glass. Imagine the NFT is like a secure blockchain version of that. So people can circulate it and make memes about it and all that stuff. In reality, that's actually raising the value of your NFT. Everything runs on memes. Everything runs on these, on cloud. Art.
But with the Mona Lisa, obviously the Mona Lisa, you know which one's the original in terms of like, it's in the
sure,
the Louvre or wherever it is, and you can the paint, it's you can date it back and whatever. How does that happen
with blockchain?
Yeah, in the NFT world.
Well, if you go on the platform, you find the actual piece, and it says owned by,
and then how does that happen? So you have to go on like a marketplace.
You have to go on a marketplace, like OpenSea Foundation, Super Rare, whatever, Nifty Gateway.
Just like
there's ones for
Sunday
music
market.
now. Catalog Works is one that I'm looking at. The music, it's really good. But anyways, you go on these things, type it in, or you go on the homepage, you can find stuff.
Yeah.
And there will be a collection. can click on each collection, and then it will have a
collection of art from a particular artist,
and it will link to the owners of each piece, and then that allows you to bid on the piece. If you see a piece you like and it's owned by someone, you can actually put an offer in. Each of these pieces.
So even if it's not for sale,
you can offer.
And so basically all NFTs are always for sale.
Yeah, in a sense.
Not necessarily that they will accept the offer, but you can always put an offer.
Yeah, I already have offers on the ones I own, but I'm not accepting them.
Right, I see. Interesting. So, okay, and what about with something like, I actually didn't know. I mean, I just hadn't thought about the music side of it as well.
Yeah.
So how would that work?
So, it's still early days for the music one. The photography one's kind of like developing now. The music one's still early days, but basically, let's say catalog works. There's artists that will release a song or a sound snippet with probably the artwork that was intended. And then people can bid on it just like any other NFT, any other piece of art. They will go and they will find the artist that they like, buy that song, and have ownership on the blockchain of it. That doesn't mean that they own the copyright to it. Like they can't
Use it for other purposes apart from just owning it.
It's a stock, once again. It's like a stock into the art.
Okay, so you basically buy into the value of it, hoping that in the future it might go up.
Yeah. So if like you found Drake's NFT when he was just starting out.
Yeah.
That would be a great investment.
That would be a great investment. So I guess in that sense, it's almost like, I guess we just, as humans, we like owning things. We love
to own things.
We love to own things, and we can say that's mine.
Yeah, exactly.
That's mine.
It's like trading cards on the playground.
Yeah. I guess so. But
there's one thing I'd like to say though. Unless you have a
no.
As much as I love the NFTs, little caveat, they are very volatile. Like if you're comparing the trading cards, if you have an NFT of a Charizard or a trading card, the trading card is appreciated in value over like 20 years. It's very gradual.
Yeah.
NFTs have been like,
it's a gold rush, isn't it?
It's a gold rush.
Yeah, and it also has been with cryptocurrency in general.
Disclaimer to the 7-8 people who are listening.
Yeah.
Don't just go blindly buying NFTs. Do your research. Find the artists you think are actually of value outside of the space. You know, if there's an artist and you like follow them on social media and they do really genuinely great work, even if the market crashes, it will hold its value.
Yeah. Ideally.
I think there will be some sort of a crash inevitably and everything will take a hit, but I think the real art will hold its value.
Yeah.
As everything.
I've really been thinking about making NFTs.
Yeah,
so have you made any yet?
I'm on a bunch of these places listed as an artist. I haven't dropped anything yet, but that's gonna change probably.
Is it hard to become an artist on these places? Do you have to get approved, or you just sign up?
On Foundation, you need an invite. I'm on Foundation and OpenSea. OpenSea is open to anyone.
OpenSea, yeah, okay.
Which is actually the one I'm leaning to using, anyways.
Yeah. Foundation, that's like the more fancy one. That's the real expensive shit, isn't it?
Well, Super Rare and Nifty are the like super expensive.
Say again?
Super Rare and Nifty are the really expensive, and then Foundation is like mid tier.
Okay.
OpenSea, you have all sorts of things. You have cheap and you have expensive. The reason I like OpenSea is because it's accessible. The photography space on there is pretty poppin', so I think that's just one of the reasons. Like I've been watching it for months. In lockdown, I was really into it when it was first starting out. There was no space for photography.
Yeah.
And now the photographers have kind of started finding their homes on Nifty. There's a couple others that I don't know that well, but I've been looking into Hit and Nook. I think I'm saying that correctly.
Sure.
We can link it.
Or not.
Or not. You can do your own research.
Hit and Nook.
Hit and Nook. There was one that runs on Polkadot that I think fell apart.
Do all NFTs basically run on Ethereum?
No. The ones I invested in are on Polygon.
On Polygon?
Yeah. Which is more environmentally friendly as well.
Interesting.
I mean
fuck know what that means.
Environmentally friendly, you don't know?
It just uses less energy than the other.
Yeah, basically, this is one of the downsides of buying them as well. If you're buying on Ethereum, which is one of the cryptocurrencies.
So run you, bro.
You need a tissue, man. If you buy something on Ethereum, the gas fees are extremely expensive because basically you're burning money, you're burning processing power to mint the piece or retain ownership by it, whatever. It takes energy.
If
It takes energy to like solidify that.
Yeah. Basically, it takes energy to use Ethereum, just like anything. Like, just like how you. I guess like just how you'd go in a bank and
ATM takes electricity.
ATM it needs power to run. Just for you to make a transaction, there needs to be people that look through the transaction. There needs to be computers that run. So it's the same thing in the crypto world where there's computers running and then there's
to keep it secure.
Keep it secure. Basically, it runs very similar to a bank, except there's no middleman.
Yep. And so yeah, like certain cryptocurrencies have been created after Ethereum. Bitcoin was the first, then came Ethereum. Ethereum was not created with environmental sustainability as the priority, but I should say that it's becoming more and more environmentally friendly as the time goes on. So I know a lot of people are screaming about cryptocurrency destroying the environment. From my research, from what I've seen, don't cancel me. All the 8 people listening, don't come after me. There are moves being made to make sure that it becomes more environmentally sustainable as time goes on, including all these platforms that are running on alternative cryptocurrencies. Polygon, for example, being much more friendly to the environment.
Yeah. I mean, cool. Yeah. I mean, 100%. It's the more efficient something can be, the better in it, regardless. So sure. That's just
it just improves. Everything improves over time. So I think people are too quick to condemn it before they realize that it takes time for technology to.
I mean, also you got to remember the people that have been condemning it. I mean, in general, the media can be a bit fishy with a lot of these things in it.
Yeah. Because it seems too good to be true.
Well, it also seems too good to be true, but the people the media is funded by
Central.
You know what I mean? They could actually be actually really invested in crypto, and they could be telling the media, hey, like you should write an article about how the Bitcoin is, it's not environmentally friendly, and then you know what I mean. So they can short the stock, and then they can
exactly. No, I mean that's. I think that was something I noticed as well. Not to just go run around saying conspiracy.
Yeah, 100%.
But there was a time when I saw the Pope and China both agree to condemn Bitcoin within the same 24 hours.
Yeah, Pope and China.
I've never heard them agree on anything. It's bizarre.
Also, bizarre. The Pope.
What's his business?
What's Bitcoin saying in the Vatican?
What's funny about that is he met with the Rothschilds I think it was 2 or 3 days before that, and they're very invested in the central banking system, which hates crypto. So,
I don't get the Pope. What does the Pope do?
The Pope is a religious leader who runs the Catholic Church and makes decisions for them. They're quite powerful,
Yeah. So
they're the most. I don't know if they're any more the most powerful, but for many, many thousands of years, the Roman Catholic Church was the most powerful institution in the world.
So when you said runs the Catholic Church, as in all of them, he just runs the church, as in the ideology of it all. He's at the top, right?
Yes, he's the president.
He's the president.
He's also the most direct contact to God. Basically.
God. What, to Kanye West?
To Kanye West.
So him the Pope.
To Jesus. And yeah, I mean, I grew up Roman Catholic.
Yeah.
So.
So you homies.
Yeah, me and the Pope, we speak all the time, man. I'll have him come through.
I've seen some fucking hilarious videos of him here because you don't really like being touched in it.
Yeah.
So there's
especially during COVID.
Yeah, especially during COVID, and obviously people are fucking obsessed with just getting a piece of him, just touch him and kiss him in it. And there was this video of him
ducking them.
Yeah. People would go in and kiss and just go. You're just
you gotta feel for the man. I think he's on a hot seat right now.
And definitely.
I think it's bizarre. It's once again very bizarre to me that he would tweet about crypto, and I don't think that it was him being yes, it is my time to tweet about this thing. But anyways,
I mean, that's
That's up for everyone else to figure out. But I just
prime
thought
information
it was a
for
bit
conspiracies.
sticky. I mean, you know, there we go into the conspiracy. I haven't had any aliens, but there's a conspiracy for you. There you go.
Well, the Pope is on the inside of Bitcoin.
He is Bitcoin.
He's Hatoshi Nakamura, whatever.
Whatever his name is.
Yeah, whatever the guy.
I wonder. Yeah, that guy's gonna. What if it's just like Guy Fieri? Do you know who Guy Fieri?
Yeah, Guy Fieri.
Just comes out. It's like, yo, I took you all to Flavortown. Let's go. Let's go.
My days. Fucking hell. Lost my train of thought. You know.
Train's left the station.
Train has left the station. What is the most beautiful thing about photography?
The most beautiful thing about photography.
To you, not in general. To you.
Dramatic silence. Trying to think of. I guess for me, the whole process has really, it's changed my life for sure. You know, picking up a camera has brought me to places I never thought I could go. It opened up my horizon and perspective. It took me from a time when I was very much boxed in and sad because I had all those knee injuries, which I'm a very accident-prone guy.
I mean, the bit of a domino effect there in it. For sure.
Yeah, I think it's all connected, to be fair. But anyways, I had some knee issues. Picked up the camera because I wasn't able to play as much sports. I grew up playing tons and tons of sports. Still very, very much into sports, just not as much contact sports, I guess. I don't go and play lacrosse anymore. But yeah, going back to photography, it brought me that like kind of thing that I could do that put me in being present in the moment. Like capturing a moment it makes me very present. I'm hyper focused on what's in front of me and I'm making sure that I'm capturing that. And the cool thing about it is that that's there. Like I look back on my photos and there's just a whole trove of memories. I think we're all always trying to capture and retain memories. We all have iPhones. We're always doing. Photographers just take it to that next level. They're like, I'm gonna make this my job.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a timekeeper in a sense. Like you're capturing that, and then you have that little. Because we're always every single second we're always getting older. You then have that moment, and that moment has passed, but you have that photo, and that person or that thing is always frozen in that thing. Whether that photo lives on, that depends if it's good or not. But you know, it's crazy for me. It was like looking at photos from like, I found colorized photos from the early 1900s of a Russian photographer, and I was like, he literally gave us an insight that no one else could have given us into daily life of, you know, pre-communism Russia. A very colorful and vibrant country. You see all these black and white photos of that time. They're like, oh, these are very bleak and boring. Well, not bleak and boring, but it's just a very dark and cold time. Like, it makes it feel a lot older. But when you see the colorized images, it puts it into a context. So yeah, capturing that moment. You good?
Yeah, nearly.
And yeah, getting to meet someone I looked up to, childhood heroes. There's like, I got to photograph LeBron James, who I would very much love to photograph again at some point in the future. Yeah. I think it was such an anomaly, really, that whole thing. But to be present with him and to be able to capture him and to get that moment, it is worth so much to me because I was always dreaming as a kid to be that basketball player, to be the professional basketball player. I never got that chance, but I got a chance to work with someone I watched growing up every day. You know, like you're that little kid in the driveway counting down and shooting that shot. There he is in the flesh. You know, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So that would probably be like a specific moment for me that is very like important.
Yeah. But I mean, I think you sort of said it where you were like, you're sort of like a timekeeper.
Yeah.
That's why
you're a timekeeper.
Yeah. Which
more generally, like that's I think that's what a lot of photographers, like good photographers, they get an obsession with capturing the moment and saving it and having it and like you literally have that archive and you're like, this is like all of the things that I've captured.
Yeah.
That lives beyond your time on this planet. If it's good, it will hold its longevity. So I think that's what photographers are trying to do. They're trying to get like, we're all trying to get those, what are they called? Immortality projects. The things that we leave behind when we're no longer here. I think that's what photography is about, is leaving those moments. They exist forever in those seconds that you capture it for other people to interpret.
Yeah. Do you think, do you know, so say stocks. Yeah, I'm going to...
Stocks.
So, so I'm just going to be a bit of a metaphor, I guess. So, you know how with stocks, say there's 100 stocks.
Okay.
So there's 100 mugs.
Yeah.
There's 100 mugs.
Sure.
Yeah. They all cost $1.
Yeah.
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 The more mugs they are,
The less they're valued.
the less they will value. The less they'll be,
Correct.
the less they will value.
Yes.
So with images,
There's more and more images.
like back in the day, an image
Was
was an impressive
Yes.
task, and you know, obviously it went from like pinhole cameras to like large format film and medium format 35 it was all film, which was, you know, it was pretty scarce, and it became more and more popular, and now we're in the digital world. So over the years, over the last sort of like 100 years, we've had more and more and more photos being taken. Do you think that
Reduces the value.
reduces the value of a photo? Or do you think,
It's not the case.
or do you like, I don't know, does it not only reduce the value of a photo, but does it also reduce the, I'm not sure if respect is the right word, but I guess
the attention span given.
no, it's the respect of what a photograph is.
Okay. There's a lot to digest.
Yeah, a lot there. Yeah.
To the first part, I think a good photo will hold its value. It makes it a bit more challenging to get that moment because there's so many photographers, because everyone has a camera. But I've seen iPhone pictures that hold their value more than any large camera photo would have. It's the person, not the tool nowadays, because iPhones take amazing photos. But it's the being, like, if you're a street photographer, being in the right moment, going to the places that other people wouldn't go to. Like, same kind of concept with, I was talking about earlier, Channel 5, the guy, you know, going...
All gas, no brakes.
All gas, no brakes. He's doing a very simple thing. It's very simple. He's not a photographer, but he's a journalist. But his stories that he's getting hold a lot more validity in my eyes to genuine human connection than large media would with these big cameras and things. I've seen iPhone pictures, like I said. Amazing.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah.
I shoot on analog mostly. But I've seen iPhone pictures. I'm like, that's better than the analog photo I would have gotten, because it's the way that person conveyed that moment. So
Yeah.
I think the truly great photographs will hold their own because they say something beyond what anyone else could have said in that particular moment. That means there's more competition, but there's still truly great photographs, and those will be seen, especially because of the rise of these new cryptocurrency markets. There was a little bit of a shakiness because we saw TikTok really... Well, firstly, social media took off photography into like echo chambers or like trends, and everyone was trying to do the same thing. And then they picked their niches and they would ride with it because that, you know, you were chasing the likes or the you're trying to get that. So that, you know, kind of compartmentalized it. Then there was a bit more of a stability within it. I think people started to experiment more. And then TikTok came along and was like, hey, photography, bye. You know, reels, TikToks, motion. Great for you as a videographer.
I mean, yeah, I don't really use them, but I suppose I should.
I mean, there was more of a thing for video content because of the way that is working. But now I've seen the contra with Twitter becoming this huge space for photography where people take the time to actually appreciate work in still image format, and the good stuff really does make its way to the top because of the format of Twitter itself. It's not entirely about being seen on the feed, but it's like the good stuff will be shared, and the algorithm, if one person retweets it, then those people will see it, and that it just like natural growth. That luckily has tied into the NFT thing, so people who are getting good work out there are getting paid for that work. So I'm optimistic that will actually help photography in the long run.
Yeah.
And take away from the way that social media kind of devalued it in a lot of ways. A lot of people, including myself, were constantly taking photos to just keep the social media going, because that's like, we're very dependent on that as creatives.
The algorithm.
Algorithm.
You got to make.
So
you got.
long story short, that's that. I mean, what was the second part of your question? Do you remember?
So the first part was
It was like the value of photography.
the value of photography, and of people sort of like, I don't know, I guess it's sort of the same thing about, like, you know, sort of about respect in terms of
Respecting photography. Yeah.
I don't know.
Respecting creatives, let's say, and the value that it brings, as opposed to hiring someone with an iPhone, maybe. Like,
I don't even know what was, I guess I was just asking the same thing, which you sort of answered.
you were just chatting.
I was just chatting. But I find it really hard to connect with photography online, innit?
Yeah, it's much
Like-
nicer to see a print of a
Oh,
photo.
it's like such a difference. Like, whenever, it's crazy, isn't it? Like, I'll be on Instagram and I'll scroll for like a photo.
Yeah.
Won't think anything of it, and I'll click back. Oh, like, that was actually a sick photo, and I'll go back to it and look at it and be like, wow, like, what a shame.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, there's a lot of great photography that's
What a
not
shame,
being
'cause, like-
seen. That's true.
this will probably never get printed. It will just like stay on here, and it's not.
Yeah, I think that's something that is a sad side effect of it.
That just a lot of good stuff just gets lost in the noise, basically.
But that's always the case. I think that's always been the case. Like, there's a lot of, I mean, look at like someone like Vivian Maier. Do you know about her?
No.
Considered one of the greatest photographers around, back in the day.
Okay,
But
yeah.
her work wasn't seen until recent years. Someone basically won this auction, I think it was, or they stumbled across her storage of her negatives, and they came across a goldmine of incredible photos from her lifetime, documenting like the 40s, 50s, 60s.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
I have her photo book. It's incredible. And she never shared her work with the public eye. She didn't, I don't think she thought it was good enough, or she
Yeah.
didn't care to.
I don't
That
know.
would have just been buried and never seen if it hadn't been for that one person who found those archives, scanned them in, shared them with the world, and then the museums came knocking, the collectors came knocking. She would,
wonder-
she never got to experience that. But sometimes that's the case with artists. Van Gogh,
Van Gogh, yeah. I was just thinking about, Van Gogh, of course, the most obvious
he
one.
knew though. He was always convinced he would be great. Even on his that there's documentation of him always saying, my art's gonna be really valuable. So I really respect the guy for that.
Yeah,
Think about it. It's like if you were nowadays posting stuff and sharing it, and no one was buying into it, and you just conviction were just like, this is it.
Well, you need that though. You need that vim. You know what I'm saying? You need that it's almost like confidence, and almost like what do you call it? I guess confidence.
Yeah.
Where it's almost a bit delusional. Where people will be like, what the fuck?
This
man?
guy's crazy.
This guy's crazy, but that's probably not always, but it's probably a good sign.
Yeah, no, you should have a certain degree. Like, I mean, the best in the field are a bit borderline obsessed / psychotic in their way.
Name one genius that ain't crazy.
They do things to a level that others just wouldn't do them, because they care and they're so convinced that this is the path. And that usually leads them to great places in life.
Yeah.
Because they're putting the hours in. That's it. If you put the hours in, you will eventually get good at something. I think, it's pretty logical. But the hard part is actually sticking to it. 1 week, nah, 2 months, 10 years? Yeah. There we're talking. If you look at the painters, man, those painters, The old masters, Van Gogh. They really put the hours in. That's all they did. They didn't do anything else.
And nothing else. Yeah.
They were not creating for Instagram.
Michelangelo and his fucking
masterpieces. They only come every so often.
Yeah. You have to.
You got to put in years. So I think even for myself, like to be a little self-critical, I think sometimes like I don't put in as much time as I should into individual works because we are in a hyper-paced society. I don't know.
You do a lot of work though. You do a lot of work, definitely.
Yeah.
But I see what you mean in terms of like individual projects.
I think like, for example, you take your time a lot more with your projects. Like you've been working on that documentary and you've been like...
Yeah, but I haven't, you know what I mean? Like it's been sitting there.
Well,
I need to do that,
I'm calling you out.
Right, it's not even that. I've been, my family are on to me about it.
Really?
Yeah, they're like, you need to finish that document. Oh, do you know what it is? It's actually like fair enough because the guy, my great uncle, he's old in it. Yeah. He's old in it, and they're worried because he's in good shape. But like they're like, damn, like you need to finish that documentary, like because
he can see it.
He can see it before he dies, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
well, there's a motivation. So
there is a motivation.
What's the?
I don't know. Like sometimes you make projects and you don't really know what to do with them, and that's
too much.
It's kind of a task that has definitely seemed very daunting for
a lot of footage to go through.
Yeah, it's not even that like that's not really the issue. It's the sitting down, which I just need to do.
Yeah. Put the hours in.
Put the hours in. I just need to sit down and do it, and I can make 100 excuses of it, but none of them are really valid.
We've all done it.
I know. Yeah, I know. And it's hard to not beat up yourself about it. Because it's important, but sometimes it just don't really work out the way you wanted to. And like for example, like this podcast, like this is the third time I'm starting it actually.
Third time's the charm.
Third time's the charm. And
I mean, you know what I'll say as well. I started a podcast.
Is it?
It never came out.
Is it? No way.
Yeah. We actually interviewed Ella as well.
Oh yeah, I remember you done something.
So
when was that?
That was like not too long ago. I mean, it could still come out. I think.
Oh, the Ampersand one, yeah, of course, yeah.
Once again, touching upon this, it's like if you try to perfect something too much, it won't get finished.
No.
There is actually a really great rule that I heard about recently, 70% rule. So do you know Virgil Abloh?
Yeah.
Super big designer guy.
Yeah.
He's criticized a lot for his like designs to be somewhat. Simple sometimes, or a little bit like cutting corners. But at the same time, he's one of the most successful designers of our generation.
He is, yeah, definitely.
He's he's got his own brand, Off-White, super, super coveted.
And he's
now Louis Vuitton.
Yeah. And
his kind of perspective, which I read about, was really interesting. He said, I just go till my projects are 70% done, and then I put them out. And for him, it's been the key to his success. It makes sense.
There's a lot to take from that. 100%.
Exactly, because he's accepting the fact, and
I don't think anything can ever be 100%.
No, it can't. So 70% is like I've given it my best. It's all right.
It's good enough.
It's good enough. I mean, not all right, but it's good enough. I think for me, I would struggle to just be like, okay, it's good enough.
I struggle with that.
But I think there's a point innately where you're like, I've been sitting and retouching and finishing and redoing, and good thing about back pain is like it lets you know when it's been done. It's
yeah.
You're done.
Yeah.
You are done.
You are done.
You've been sitting here for like 7 hours straight. That's it. So maybe you need some back pain.
I need some back pain.
I'm sure you got back pain.
Yeah, I do a bit.
Yeah.
What do you think is your main driving force? Because obviously, you're a young entrepreneur, got your own company and that.
Yeah. What's my motivation?
I think, I mean, motivation could be a bit, I guess, your main drive. Like, what keeps you going?
Right.
Because I don't know what keeps you going.
You don't know what keeps me going.
No.
I mean, to be fair, there's a mix of things there. Like, touching back upon how photography can change your life, right? I think just from like a neurological level, it's like when you get an achievement with something, after a while, then you realize that thing can bring you even more good things. If you stick to that road and you really commit to it, it will open up the things you want to do, but it's really hard. So only the people who have really committed long term to something will reap those rewards, because there haven't been that many people on the planet to invest as much energy into something. Because there's a lot of people on the planet, as we
There's a lot of people on the planet, but we've been very lucky.
We have.
We've been very lucky.
We have. I think...
with the amount of time we have to spend on things.
Yes. I mean, now more than ever, because of the way the world is.
Yeah,
but I think for me, is getting those little achievements and then finding that you can very much achieve the things that you set out to do. Over time, I believed in myself that it was possible. So the more you believe in yourself, the more it snowballs. The bigger the project, the bigger the achievement. Also, the bigger the failure. Fully possible. And those things will get you down. But then you start thinking, you're like, I'm not going to give up just yet. So that's one thing. I think the other thing is just, I really, I love taking photos. I love the process, especially shooting analog. It's an absolute hassle sometimes, but it is just really rewarding to me to get those results. So like the stories that you can tell. And like growing up, or like when I was getting into photography, I saw some of those pictures where I was like, I really just, if I could ever take a photo half that good, that would be incredible. And,
And now you can.
I can take a photo half that good.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Most definitely.
Like, I mean, there's just things like you're working with people that you looked up to, meeting them in the flesh, and you're starting to realize that the energy invested in something is what makes it worthwhile. Makes everything worthwhile, because you have a purpose. I think everyone should have that purpose, and their purpose is out there. Luckily, I found it earlier on in my life, but I then just like went straight into it, like, and it opens up different perspectives. Like, I think it's not only about the photography, it's about me just being able to express myself through photography, painting, videography, whatever that might be, singing, yodeling, I don't know. Hello, Tim.
Hello, Tim. Coming into the podcast.
Yes, sir.
Shit.
I'm just talking.
Yeah. Come say hi. Come say hi. Come say hi.
I'll come back.
We'll be a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem.
That's fantastic. Yes,
Hello,
I'm like
it's
talking about the deepest thing. It's just like, hello.
Oh, he should have showed his face. He could have. Anyway.
Anyways, those are those moments, and they like bring you to a full circle kind of thing. It's like a very much like in your head, you're like, okay, all the hours I put in are bringing me something. I think that's what humans really crave, is like, put in work, get result.
Yeah.
Very simple.
Yes.
And then you repeat that process, and you find that it brings you to better and better heights, as well as more and more challenges. And I think everyone wants that challenge. They want to feel like they're pushing for something greater than themselves. They want to be remembered for something, all those things. And yeah, I've just found something that I really like, gives me ability to create, but then also feel like I'm contributing to something greater. Like, getting someone to say that they found something in like a photo, some sort of an emotion evoked, or it brought them some sort of meaning. That is a very powerful moment, and that's something that pushes you forward.
I like that a lot.
Nice.
Put work in, get results out.
Get results out.
That's it, isn't it?
Grind.
I think that's more or less that's everyone's purpose.
Yeah, humanity.
Yeah, humanity. Like we
We're
love.
all out here trying to make some sort of a meaning last that extends beyond our life.
100%, and it's not. I like it's funny, innit? Because it's so simple in words.
It is, but it's the hardest thing.
Yeah, it's the biggest
And it doesn't.
the hardest game.
I mean, and you speak about it, right? And like, even when I'm saying this right now, it sounds so simple, and like someone like, oh man, if it was that simple, like I said, it goes up and down. Life is just it'll beat you up and that'll throw you, spit you back out, and you have to get back up and try again. But like there's something there within like finding something to care about that keeps you going through those hardest times. Like the back thing or whatever, you know? Like it hurt me to take photos physically and mentally.
Yeah.
Editing was like torture.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
You know it.
Yeah.
I told you, and you saw it, like all the things I had to go through, and I still was like, I don't know, just wanted to keep doing it because it brought me happiness, even with the circumstances. So yeah. Exhales.
Nice. Do you know what I exhale because I ask myself on a weekly basis, you know, like what my purpose is on purposes, and it always and like meaning of life and whatever.
The big question.
The big question, but it always for me, I always land on the same answer, and for me,
what is it?
Meaning of life is progress.
Yeah.
So all it is for me personally. And we always have to.
Let's make things better.
Let's make things better. Says it on the wall.
Yeah.
Probably can't see because my big head's in the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's some progress, one way or another. You know.
Every day.
Yeah, it's why people strive for promotions in work. It's why people, you know, they want to get fitter. You know, they want to lose weight, or they want to do more push-ups, or they want to, I don't know.
Be the best you can
like
be.
Have like a better family than what they grew up in, and etc. etc. Everyone appreciates progress, and I think that's what gives life its meaning. I think. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. We're still young, innit? So
it's
like, I could be chatting out my ass.
Let's come back when we're 80 and do this again.
40. 80 is too far. 80 is too far.
You don't know. By the time, who knows what medicine will be like? We could be pretty mobile 80-year-olds. You know.
Yeah, man. We could be
zooming around on our hoverboards.
Nah, I'll be running.
You'll be running.
Yeah, I'll be running.
I'll be like a bionic man by that point.
Yeah. I have the limbs and all them things there.
I robot type beat.
Do you know how I'm gonna get? I need to get your sister in this podcast. I'll get.
Yeah, she'll do it.
I know. Yeah,
she'll do it.
She better.
She doesn't like parties, but she'll come to.
She doesn't like parties. She doesn't, but that's fine. Because this is a one-on-one, no party.
Yeah.
No parties here. No parties in this house.
She'll have some real good things to say.
Yeah. Definitely. She's an interesting character. I'll ask her some deep questions.
Yes. She'll have probably more profound answers than I will.
Yeah, she's a bit of a profound person. Cool.
Yeah.
You ready? Do you want me to ask me anything, or are you ready to wrap it up? Why have you always wanted to ask me, Adam?
Let's see.
Adam to Alex. Adam.
Okay. Crickets. Let's see. What has been your funniest memory with me?
Your funniest, or funnest?
Funniest or
funniest? Funnestest. Good question.
Because we shared a lot of moments. I'm curious. We never actually have said that.
Nah. Damn. So, I have to run through a lot of thoughts for this one. And we've had some funny ones.
Yeah, we have.
Like, I remember going to Manchester, and like we had to wake up at like 3 a.m.
Yep.
and like had to film something in Manchester, and we got there and they were like, oh, actually, like no one's told us you're coming to film. So we got there and they were like, yeah, you can't film. So we just had to like bounce, and we got paid.
Yeah, we got paid.
That was lit.
Oh, big drive.
Literally just went to Manchester, came back. Like we were there for about 40 minutes and maybe even less. Took some pictures. Do you know what it is? I think actually it's not necessarily a moment.
Yeah.
But just driving.
Well,
Yeah,
we
innit?
covered miles.
Miles, bro.
Miles in different countries.
Oh my days. Yeah. Well, yeah. What am I talking about? Yeah, the fucking Iceland thing. Oh my days. That's definitely the funnest one. That was funnest. That was mad.
Yuri. Shout out Yuri.
Yuri.
He's listening to this.
I hope he is. He's definitely not. But
He's not.
oh my gosh, that was mad. The Iceland thing. We went to Iceland. I'll just cut a long story short. We went to Iceland. Yeah.
This is a whole story.
Oh my days. So we went to Iceland to film a music video for Anna, Alex's sister, and it was just us three, and we got a car out there, and we were staying in. So we had 3 different Airbnbs in the south, in Reykjavik, and in the north. And basically, we were in the south first, and then we had to go up to Reykjavik, up to a Akureyri or something like that. Akureyri, whatever. But that drive was long. It was like 8-9 hours.
Yeah.
And we started the drive pretty calm. I mean, not even pretty calm because you actually broke your lens, but
I got flung.
Oh man, the wind in Iceland is crazy.
Picked me up and just threw me like a
yeah. Actually, like
never had anything like that.
Actually flew. Anyway, whatever. So we it's not even the fucking climax of the story. We went up and we were 4 or 5 hours into our journey, and this snowstorm came in, and it got real bad real quick. We were on the main road. It's called the One, which basically just goes all around Iceland in a circle. And yeah, it's the main road, but there's no one on it because there's no one in Iceland. Yeah, 3, because it's just us 3.
Pretty much.
And we're driving up, and we got essentially we got stuck in this snowstorm. Like our visibility was 0, and we just kept driving for like 5 miles an hour, and it kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse, and we hadn't seen a car in like 3 hours, and we ended up seeing some cars that all stopped because it got so bad that it was just not safe to drive. And we had like snow patrol come and like save us, and we had to drive through this snowstorm backwards because we couldn't go to our destination, so we went to some place called Bifrost.
Yes.
Shout out Bifrost. We had to stay there for 2 nights. But that journey was probably the funnest back. So when the snow patrol came, and then we had to drive back, oh, that was fucking intense. Oh my days.
Unreal.
Well, do you remember I had to piss in the bottle, and then you did as well?
Yeah.
While driving. That was hilarious. That was. I think that's the moment where what was happening is so we'll drive for like 45 minutes and then we'll stop because there was like 5 or 6 cars, and then one of the cars would like get stuck or whatever, and then so they'd have to stop, go there, rescue the car, and so we can keep going. So this would sort of happen every like 30-45 minutes. And we stopped once, and I was like, guys, I've been needing to piss for like 5 hours. Like we've been in this car for so long, and you can't go outside to piss because you're done. If you go outside for too long, it was the wind was like level 1 tornado basically, which is nuts. And I was like, guys, I'm really sorry, I got to piss. And I got a bottle out, and I started pissing. But I started pissing, and literally as I started pissing, the snow patrol car started driving. And as soon as that car started driving, we need to start driving. So I was like, yo, Alex, please, like, hold the wheel, and I'll press the accelerator. Luckily, it was an automatic, so we didn't have to, like, do any, like, turning. But I was one hand holding my penis, with the other hand holding the bottle, and the other hand my third hand, and then you were like
on the passenger seat.
You're on the passengers, you're holding the wheel, and I'm
in a blizzard.
And then, oh mate, that was mad. That was mad.
That was crazy. That's what it's all about. And then Yuri.
There's a lot to that story.
Just link the video or something.
Oh yeah, we got I will. There's that behind the scenes video.
That explains it better, but I think that was a good answer. Okay, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thank you very much for having me. ladies and gentlemen, Alexander Massek, thank you very much for coming on.
You're welcome.
It's not going to be the last time you're on here. 100%. We'll have you. We will have you on again
When we're 80.
Yeah, when we're 80. Woo! Thank you very much, man.
Well met.
Well met. Met well.
Met well.
So